How's it going, y'all? This is Shockwave48 here. Welcome back to another video. Today we got ourselves a new chapter that just arrived yesterday. So sorry for the delay of not uploading this sooner because it was 4th of July and I had a really good time yesterday. It was a blast. I really enjoyed myself. But enough of that. Let's jump right into a new chapter of 427. Guys, we're pretty much close to the very end of this My Hero Academia manga chapters, and it's a sad thing to see how it all ends like this. But hey, sometimes the manga has to end, it has to end. So yeah. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right into this chapter.
We got the 427 spoilers, and we are in the final 5 chapters of the series at this point. And we're seeing what happened at the end of the previous because it's actually Izuku coming into Spinner's room. And we're going to find out what he has to tell him. So let's get into it. The chapter starts with a TV program titled Who Was Tomura Shigaraki? With a reporter asking this question to several people on the street. One man says that he was scary and that he's glad he was killed. 2 women say that he was a murderer who killed some of their friends. The old lady who ignored Tenko wonders why he couldn't just stop, and a man says that at first he seemed like a random villain, and then no one thought that he would be such a threat. The program ends by showing the wreckage and saying that not everything has been rebuilt yet. Deku is sitting in front of Spinner, and the doctor says that the quirks that he got from All for One were turning him into a Nomu. But the research they were carrying out at the central hospital allowed them to stop the process. Spinner asks Deku what a murderer like him is doing here. So yeah, this is what we were talking about in the previous review. All for One gave Spinner like a gigantic vacation quirk, just made him bigger. And he gave him like a quirk called Scales or Scale Skin or something like that, which, gave him more durability with those scales. But yeah, it really was turning him into a Nomu in real time. Like it was just making him almost like a zombie or like a vegetable or something. But happy to hear that the hospital was able to stop that process, so Spinner's gonna be all right. I mean, he's probably going to jail forever or something like that, but at least he's not all nomed up. Also, I like the touch of him calling Izuku a murderer here, even though I don't know if that's necessarily justified. Even though he did technically kill Shigaraki, I don't know if we could call him a murderer. And trust me, I would be the first one to jump on that train if it was applicable. Deku says that he won't deny that he's a murderer, but that he's here because Shigaraki left him a message. Spinner asks if he's making fun of a dead guy, and Deku reveals the message. Spinner is confused and asks if Tomura really asked Deku to say that to him. Deku confirms, and Spinner asks if Shigaraki didn't mention Togedabi or Compress, but Deku says that the message was only for him. Spinner says that Tomura was his hope. He smiled as he said that he wanted to destroy everything and showed him a beautiful horizon in Deka. The more Spinner despairs, the more his body grows. He thinks to himself, no, I've decided to stop thinking. If I think, I'll only hurt myself. But he keeps talking. He says that because he's a heteromorphic, he has always treated the prejudice he suffered as normal.
But first, guys, do you want to get cash back on purchases that you're going to make anyway? Well, you can do that with the Upside app, which is free, and it gets you cash back on
I
daily
heard about that
essentials
app.
like
It's
gas,
very useful.
groceries, and dining. There are over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app, ensuring that cashback is always just around the corner. I like using it for getting gas at Shell because I can get back 71 cents per gallon. I also love using it at Chipotle because I'm gonna go there anyway. And with Upside, I can get 3% back on my purchase. And yes, it's real cash back. No confusing rewards, points, or credits. Just actual money you can transfer straight to your bank account. Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month. To find out how much you can earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code ZONIN to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas, or scan the QR code here to claim this offer. Thanks, guys.
But Shigaraki allowed him to dream, to become someone and to be part of something big. The doctor says that they'll have to intervene, but Deku asks him not to come any closer. The next panel shows a giant Spinner holding Deku and saying Tomura Shigaraki was my hero. Holy crap.
Whoa.
Spinner freaking out here, getting big and grabbing Izuku. How is he still able to get big? I thought they were like stopping the process or something. In the TV, a man says that he was a villain with no ideals who only wanted to destroy. Spinner says that he loved video games. On the TV, a man says that the police is starting to unravel Shigaraki's past, but they can't empathize with him because history may repeat itself. Spinner says that when he was a shut-in, he played a lot of games and that he liked the same ones as me. On the TV, a man says that he was a piece of crap. Spinner starts crying and says that he was his best friend. Deku says that Shigaraki said, I have to become a hero to them. Right inside Tomura's heart, there was a league. Deku says that Shigaraki must have thought the same things about Spinner, and that's why he passed on the message. Spinner remembers his whole journey and how at some point he stopped thinking and just went with the flow. So yeah, this is a nice little touch here. It's like Spinner, saying out loud that Shigaraki is like his best friend, and they had so many parallels and everything, and Shigaraki accepted him despite being a heteromorphic, and as he just said, he experienced prejudice his whole life over that. And that, also Izuku saying that, he probably felt the same way too. That's why he left this message to you, which is probably true. Like, he didn't say anyone else. It was just like, hey, tell Spinner. He remembers that moment in the cave with Shigaraki lying on the ground with all the fingers, and comes to the conclusion that if he had realized that something was wrong and taken one more step in the right direction, he could have saved his friend/hero. The TV says that he knew All For One / Shigaraki could be out there, so they have to watch out for new threats. Spinner says that Deku and the others will keep fighting. They'll forget about the League and smile. He's going to write a book about Tomura Shigaraki, the symbol of fear. Spinner says the past never dies. I will continue what Tomura Shigaraki started. And Deku says that instead of a book, it should be a comic. Spinner is confused and Deku makes a correction.
Welcome to Vanderpump Villa. Ready, set.
He won't forget Shigaraki as long as he lives, and he looks very determined. Spinner asks Deku to tell the octopus to do his best. Deku leaves the room and meets Suguuchi and All Might, who is in a wheelchair. All Might asks him if he got to tell Spinner the message, and Suguuchi starts explaining what happened to Overhaul. Whoa. Alright, now we're going into Overhaul here. Chisaki was arrested again, and the Hisakai boss went to visit him. Chisaki thought that he was in a coma, but the boss says that the support items managed to nullify the effect of the Overhaul quirk on him. Also, he's not the boss anymore since the organization no longer exists. Whoa, that's crazy. I can't believe they're actually coming back to this storyline. The Hisakai boss, who is like, I think, the grandfather of Eri, finally woke up. That's wild.
That's
the
crazy.
boss is extremely disappointed and says that this is what happens when you stray from the path of humanity. He says that he always reached out to Chisaki, but in the end he made the wrong choice. Perhaps Kurono should have scolded him more, and Chisaki cries and apologizes. The boss says that it's too late to apologize to him, and that he should apologize to Eri for the rest of his life. Eri will not forget about Chisaki, but he also has no right to forget what he did to her. The boss then says that they'll stay by his side, scolding him until he dies. Deku thanks Suguuchi, and he responds by saying that this option was much better than making Eri relive all the trauma. Deku asks how they can prevent these things from happening, and Suguuchi says it's impossible. Suguuchi jokes only if Hawks multiplies the number of heroes, and Deku believes him, replying, Hawks has that much power? All Might says that Deku has to go back to school because the first years have arrived. Oh, wow. Okay, we might be getting into first year introductions, which is really exciting because, the class that we follow, currently was like the new class that became 1A, and they were all the goats. And I really hope that this means that there's a chance for a sequel series to this. Like, Horikoshi doesn't even necessarily have to like illustrate it or anything. It seems like he's pretty much done with that, but at least he can just write it or give notes, and then somebody else can just, draw it for him. Deku says that the hero course has few extracurricular activities, so they'll hardly see each other. However, the last page shows many girls shouting Todoroki senpai, Dynamite senpai, and running after them. The chapter ends with a shocked Deku and an envious Mineta. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it seems like we might be getting into the new class
right.
and like, I don't know, they're
That's
like
unexpected.
fangirls and fanboys of Shoto and Bakugo because, I don't know, their efforts in the war, I suppose. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think about it.
Okay. That was a very interesting chapter to hear from him. But I'm glad that Spinner's okay, even though a little bit less because he's still villain on the inside. And I'm happy that Deku was able to, retrieve the message to him. But after a while, he went berserk when he heard about that Shigaraki died. But as right now, Spinner is pretty much going to take over Shigaraki's, spot here to be the new villain, of course. And it looks like Deku's back at it with his new year of his new second year of, his high school appears to be going on pretty smoothly, but still. This is a very, very hilarious, interesting chapter I've seen all day. And above all, we only had 3 more chapters left, ladies and gentlemen, so hopefully we'll see more of what's going to happen next. I don't know what I can predict on what's going to happen next, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite interesting to look at. All right, so without further ado, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.